So I've managed to have a small collection of coloring books. And so, for this video, I could finally make this video. I've been waiting forever to do this. I was just waiting for the right moment. Well, right now is the right moment. So we're gonna start. This book is basically just like a keep the earth green kind of thing. So it's like it's kind of like just like one of those like prevent global warming type of things. And then I got some other ones I'm gonna do too. Like I got alpha bars. It's one of those. Maybe it's both. I can't remember. I got the like this nature-y looking kind of one. I got My Little Pony. Yeah, I got different ones. I can't remember all I got, but I got different ones. So I'm gonna make this a nice long one. It's really long. Now I guess how long. I have no idea. I guess I don't know. Let's say maybe an hour. Maybe. It could be longer. It could be shorter. I don't know. But I'm gonna try and do it as long as I can. But now being that it's multiple coloring pages. Each coloring page sometimes can take 20 minutes. Most likely, probably over an hour. Or at least an hour. Probably, maybe longer. Depends how long it takes for me to carefully color in. Yeah, I just got to maneuver the camera, so it's going to be a little strange angles. But I just got to need to manipulate it so that I can so I can color it better and not screw up. Now I can get a better, more accurate, way to color it in. It's basically, it says, grow a little so we can stay alive. And I like to grow plants, so I definitely wanted to do this one. Especially when it comes to plants, gotta be usually good at it. I remember, years ago when I was a kid, we had this project where we had to grow plants, and it was funny too, because my plant was growing the most. My plant was growing so fast, and Bill's was growing slower, not as good. And some unfortunately didn't grow well at all. They just weren't good at watering it. And I would just water it, make sure the plant, I always made sure the plant was hydrated. It had, sun as you know, it needs. And everybody was just funny, because everybody's like, oh my God. It's like, how come his is growing better than ours? But little did they know, which I told them, I said, well, it's like, well, I don't know, I just grow it and just make sure it's hydrated. But even though, like I said in previous videos, even though my great-grandmother, again, was very argumentative and liked to, she liked to, yell at me a lot for being shy. The times when she was calm, she did show me how to make plants. But because my great-grandmother, who was born in the 1920s, she's not alive anymore, because she passed in 2019. But when she was alive, unfortunately, I hate to say, arguing with everybody over all that, and she became very paranoid and would worry about things like insanely. But she was getting Alzheimer's too, grandmother's alive, but this was my grandmother's mother. Yeah. But then, but that's unfortunately that's how she was. Because she was like that. My grandmother, she would always yell at my grandmother a lot. Like a lot. Like she would come in. My grandmother did one small little thing wrong, and she would yell at her, and then it would stress my grandmother out a lot. Because even as an adult, she would get yelled at by her own mother. But that aside, yeah, that's how I learned how to plant plants. Because she would teach me how to grow plants. Because my grandmother's mother, like, she was very, very big on, cause my grandmother's mother, like she never she accepted her pension, but when it came to like government programs, like she never took it. As she said, and I quote, I may be a woman, but I know how to handle my own bills and stuff. I don't want help from the government, because like I said, she was very independent. So people told her, oh, the government can help you with this, and it's not like a handout. So I think of it as just a helping hand. But I told people, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't say that. Which, of course, unfortunately, people found out why. Because we're all of us were like, no, don't say that. Don't ever say it like that. And she got kind of mad, because that's how she was too. So she kind of raised me that way to obviously, yeah, I do ask for help, so of course if she was here, she would, she would tell me to try to figure it out myself. But for me, I'm like, I don't know, for me, it's always like, there's nothing wrong with going to somebody and saying, hey, I need help. I mean, heck, I hope I help people over the internet, with stuff through their personal life. I like doing it because, like I said, because for me, it's like, nothing wrong with a little help once in a while. I mean, yeah, sometimes we all just need a little help. It's nothing bad. It just means that there's just something that you can't do on your own, and you require, assistance, love, and support, or whatever it is, and however you want to put it. Sometimes you just need a little extra boost. It's from a stranger. And I am always happy to help. Which reminds me, I got a video request that I'm going to do. Now, it's not very long, but I want to do it because I had a special request from Harley Rose. So I'm going to be doing that for a video I did. If you're watching Harley, I did do some video edits, like how to succeed kind of motivational videos. Those I specifically made for you. Where when I get good, I made them just for you. Okay, I haven't gotten a chance to tell you that yet, so I want to tell you. So I figured I'll tell you now if you're watching this video. But yeah. Stay there. Just be talking to the crayons. The crayons are trying to fall. Don't fall. You can tell they're trying to fall and roll off the bed. And I'm like, oh God, don't roll off the bed. I need those crayons. I mean, yeah, I got 2 boxes of crayons, but still, I don't want them to fall. That would be really, really stressful. Especially for me, because I'm autistic, so for me, it kind of drives me nuts a little bit. It's like I want to stay perfectly still. Especially so I have easy access to it. Of course, I screwed that up a little bit, but we're all human. What can you do? I try my best. It's just hard because I don't have a steady hand because I got ADHD, so my hand has a tendency to move too fast sometimes, or I feel like I need to go faster and faster and faster. So sometimes it can be hard to get my hand to just be like, okay, seriously, hand, stay still. You don't have to rush or go crazy, but it's just gonna be hard sometimes. Stuff like that, because I do that, or I usually do it I bounce my leg a lot because of my ADHD. It causes me to bounce my leg up and down a lot, which can be hard too, because, especially my family, because my family they don't understand, because the older people in my family, some of the younger, but mostly older, they just don't understand, the whole ADHD thing, so they always complain and make fun of me for bouncing my leg and stuff like that, which I hate. mother, has gotten better where she kind of didn't understand it, but she's gotten better. But of course, too, my mother's not too far in age from me, too. Because as I mentioned in the life story, Samar, my mother, she's not even 50s, actually in her late 40s. That's because my mother was 16 when she was pregnant with me, and then I believe she was 17, I think 17 when she gave birth, I believe, something like that, because she was still in high school. And then, but this was back in 1994, so my mother was still in high school in 94, because she was born in 1977. So, so in case you wonder what I mean by, that we're pretty close in age. So not extremely close, but, closer than what, normal, a parent normally would be. And stuff like that. But like my mother, I don't mind that she's young. But I like it too because then she'll be here with me for a while. And that's why I like it bad because, but plus I admire my mother too because she kept me safe because I never really mentioned it. I don't think I mentioned it during my life story somewhere. But basically, it's gonna sound a little, effed up. I don't want to say it where kids are watching Perfect Adults. You know what I mean by effed up. Like the end, I'm just I'm saying the exact word you're thinking of, just in a clean way. So so younger audience isn't repeating it. But yes, so basically what happened was, I can't say the whole story because there's some things my mother don't want me to say because it's her personal life. But basically, when my mother had to protect me when I was a baby because my grandmother, who again, eventually we did stuff, together, like not my grandmother's mother, like my actual like my mother's mother. Basically, my grandmother is, one of those people who supports abortion. And so, when I was younger, eventually my mother had to hide it, for obvious reasons. And eventually my grandmother found out when my mother was getting ready to give birth. And then my grandmother scolded my mother and said, "Oh, you should have just got an abortion," and aborted him and took him out. I was like, wow, you're only a teenager. Why the hell would you do something stupid? Have sex with your boyfriend and then not get an abortion? And stuff like that. To which my mother says, because I want this kid. I said, she said, I want this child and you're not going to force me to get an abortion. And my mother, I said, my mother's kind of like back and forth. And my mother's not, pro-life. But she's not pro-abortion either. She's kind of more of just like, do what you feel. Now for me, I don't like abortion because, I feel bad because I kind of wonder, like, what if these kids grow up to, great things? I understand certain situations are really, like, messed up, like SA, stuff like that, and I understand that it's, like an exception to do it, and stuff like that. But, and the worst part, too, is my grandma once said it to me, too, though. She said, "Oh yeah, well, I told your mother she should have gotten an abortion, and if I found out earlier, I would have forced her to get an abortion. I would have brought her to Planned Parenthood, this and that." And remember, because that's when me and my grandma got into a heated argument. Because then she said, "I said, are you, there's no easy way of putting it. So I just said, are you bleeping kidding me?" I was like, "You would have had me aborted." Like again, like I understand what you feel. But why would you tell that to the face, right to your grandson's face? I'm like, because I'm saying to her, it's like, okay, and do you know how bad this is? Do you know how messed up that sounds for you to tell me that right to my face? That you would have made my mother do that? Of course, my grandmother, because my grandmother is my grandmother, because she, again, is argumentative. At least a little bit. Because she argues with my grandfather a lot too, so, put that aside. And then, I told my mother, and she's like, "Oh, ignore her." I said, my mother said, she wouldn't have forced me because my mother would have ran away, which is probably true because my grandfather said that because they got into an argument, and that's what my aunt said too, because my aunt heard my mother when she was arguing with my grandmother, and she said, if you ever see him ever again. Yeah, because my mother is like extremely protective of me. Like, I definitely would say my mother is a mama bear type. Like, no, not like smothering love, but like, like she'll go to someone, say something bad about me or something like that. Like, she's the first to come to my defense and everything else, and tell the person, let the person out they need to knock it off. Anyway, yeah, real quick, I'll get back to the story. Alright, so here we go. That's what it looks like. Grow a little so we can stay a while. Okay, I'll get the next book. But yeah, and of course my father wouldn't be able to do anything but my father. As I said previously, I'm not really big on my father because basically my father left. He left and basically said, "Oh well, the kid's not mine. My you know what? As do you remember what he said? I can't remember. There's some word. There's a specific word he said. I can't. Oh, dysfunctional. Yeah, it's dysfunctional. Let's just say tools. Let's just say, because I don't want to make it weird. Tools are inactive, not working, dysfunctional, however you want to put it. But he said dysfunctional. Even though he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, he's your kid. This proves he's your kid, and you are clearly biologically able to have kids. And the doctor said, I'm telling you, like the DNA results come out, he is your kid. And, but you didn't want to believe it. Eventually, he basically just abandoned me and my mother the day I was born. And unfortunately, we never saw him ever again. Now, I do know what happened to him. Because they just random searching on the internet. I found out that he lives in Tennessee, so I'm like, oh God. I wanted to go to Tennessee to see what Tennessee is like, but I'm like, that he's there. I'm like, no, I don't. It's basically, he went with, he had children with another woman, so I have a half brother and a half sister that I never met and didn't know about until like a few years ago. Something like, I think it was a few years ago. I know it wasn't too far down the road. I want to say it was at least 3 to 5 years ago. I think. I can't remember though. I can't remember because I remember my mother was looking up and she was like, yeah, like she didn't like reading information because basically he was arrested. He was arrested in the mid 2000s, so like 2005. So the middle of the early 2000s, before the 2010s. So 2000, 2010, 2009. So mid. And yeah, so it's called a horsey, a donkey, and then just general background. Anyway, yeah. So which is what happened, and because basically he got arrested, and the woman he impregnated because they want nothing to do with him. They have, from what the information said, from what the information looks like, I don't know because I haven't talked to these people. I don't think they even know that I exist. Eventually, I would like to meet them, but from what it looks like, I think they have a restraining order against him. I think, but I'm not entirely sure. So I don't want to say for sure, but from what I down, it's good possibility. But anyway, I'm gonna color the sky first. I don't usually do it that way, but I want to do it that way. Alright, anyway, yeah, so that's basically what happened with that. And my father is released. I can't remember when he was released from jail, but he was released. According from the stuff I saw, he definitely was released, but he's on parole. He has like one of those like parole officer kind of things where you have to report to them and stuff. And I'm just like, ugh. But he's never made an effort to contact me at all or anything like that. And for obvious reasons, and I just, and then he does have obviously Facebook and stuff like that, which I didn't know until my mother found out. So it was just like, ugh. And then communities on TikTok and Facebook and all that crap, and I'm just like, boy, I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't want him to contact me at all. And so, naturally, because again, my father left, I was raised by women. No, I had some male role models in my life, but not much. So, that's why naturally, like, because it was hard growing up, because naturally, because, I didn't have a lot of real models. So like I said, so I was into, like, girly things and feminine things, and I didn't know that was, abnormal. I didn't know because that's all I knew, and stuff like that. So, like I said in previous videos, like I said, I used to paint my nails black, and stuff like that, because to me, that was just normal. It's just what I did, and, I liked it and stuff like that. And this one girl I used to date in high school, she didn't mind. She wanted me to do it, because she thought it was cute that I did that. So I just, no, I don't obviously haven't done it now, but, because my current girlfriend would, she wouldn't want me doing that, but stuff. But yeah, I used to basically, no, I wouldn't consider myself a femboy, as they call it, but, I did have the style of it. Just, I just never really considered myself that. But yeah, but I have thought about doing like that. Like I did different makeup roleplay videos. Now, obviously, I didn't actually do makeup on me. Like, I just used I used real makeup that my grandmother let me borrow, to use as props. Now, I thought about it doing makeup videos and stuff like that kind of show, because, like, there's a certain roleplay I want to do that requires, the makeup look and stuff like that. So I'll do a video like how I did it and stuff like that, And I'm thinking about doing that, and maybe like a nail polish video, like to show how to do it, because I don't see a lot of guys do it, well, especially straight guys like me, who generally avoid that. But I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just makeup. Like, who cares? Like, And plus, like I said, I can make it for my female viewers or anybody in general who might want to, enjoy something like that. And it's usually something I don't admit though too, because because I used to get made fun of. And called all sorts of derogatory names, especially in high school. Once once I heard boys found out and stuff like that, I was constantly made fun of. Women, some girls had some, were going on about it, which I'll leave it to the imagination. So it's kind of hard. So it's something I kind of get nervous. I get worried about admitting it, and stuff like that. That's what I did. But that's what I did. I said I never mentioned it before much, because I just worry about what people think. Because I know most males don't do that, So I kind of get like nervous to tell people, and stuff like that. But at this point, I'm just kind of like, well, it happens. So But you guys are so welcoming too and stuff like that. So it gives me more confidence to admit that I did do it. Oh, this looks so good. Actually, I've been trying different techniques of coloring to get rid of those weird squiggly lines. And I found out apparently if you side like this, it gets rid of that crap. It makes it look more like professional. This looks so good. If I could do this just right, I might just say fuck it. I might just put this and frame this. This looks so good. I love it. Oh, I love it. It looks so great. Because the color is blending in just right. Eventually, and I requested a long time for Bob Ross, and I did something similar with the farm scene. I might try to do a Bob Ross style video of paints. Now, I'm not very good at that. I have to practice, but I'm thinking about it. Because back when I had really long blonde hair, I remember they had that. Because I remember when I used to do ASMR, when I first started ASMR, the only reason I cut is because my girlfriend did. But if it was up to me, I probably would grow my hair long again. Because I'll say it. I'll admit I do miss having long hair. Stuff like that. I do miss it at times. Styling and washing it, and just running my hands through it. It just felt good. But anyway, I don't want to say too much because she's listening. Because she hates when I talk about that. But yeah. could try to do it like a very long one, because I did tell, if you're watching Ellen, I did tell you I was going to do a long video too, so. And I was going to do a long coloring video of different coloring books. Remember I think I sent a comment, but I can't remember. I definitely said it in a live stream. I remember that. I remember you liked them. I remember you said them. I can't remember your exact words, but I remember you liked the idea of that. And I'm just going to color these in with a yellow, green. That way there's a different, ow. That way there's a different color scheme. So it doesn't look so like, I want it to look picture perfect. Careful and just dab just a little bit, because those trees are far in the distance. And then this one, nice and light. But yeah, I thought I'd, just randomly talk about my life a little bit, because I know you guys like it that I'm an open book, and I am an open book. And I usually try to, say how it is. Just, unlike, now obviously not like other people, like I don't like to go out and say, like I try to put it in, more sensitive, nicer ways, But yes, I do usually, I try my best, Sometimes I get nervous too, but usually I try to. Yeah, and you get too much white, try to color that up a little bit. There you go. I think those are bushes. I don't know, those are trees. It's just because of a hill. In that case, just do it like that. Yeah. There we go. That looks nice, just right. That looks so pretty. That looks so pretty, doesn't it? That does sound like a girl, but I don't know. But I do think it looks pretty. Okay, same with the horse. Just gotta do it nice and carefully. This coming out so much better than the last picture I colored. I got these at Dollar General, so maybe Dollar General has it. I'll try to do that farm one again, but much better, more calm, not so like rushed. I think I just rushed it too much. I think I need to learn to just calm the hell down and just chill out and calm down and just of course the mane hair, whatever you want to call it. I have to make sure that's black, because that's usually that's what I see on a horse or brown fur, is that the horse's hair and the tail hair is usually jet black. Where the heck is the cream? Okay, just darken this up just not much, just a little bit, yeah. So it's more accurate to its real life. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But you didn't go with the other stuff, so just very carefully. I'll give you a little bit of black, not too much, just a small shade to darken it a little bit. I got black, got crayon. I don't want the black one, I need the brown one. Need to add a bit more color to the horsey. Usually, sometimes I think the hooves are supposed to be black, I think so, yeah, I've seen black hooves on horses before on TikTok. So yeah, try to make that black. It was so small, so you just dab it a little bit, yeah. Try to side it. It just needs a bit more. Get rid of those white spots. It doesn't look like crap. Anyway, there we go. Oh, that looks perfect. I get the elbow on the back leg. A little bit. There we go. Oh, that looks great. Just a few spots. It should. Does that look like that? Yeah, you should be fine. Just worrying too much. Oh, crap. Well, that's simple. You can just cut. You can use scissors and cut if you have to. When you frame it. Get rid of that green on the line. And remind me, I'm just talking to myself. You can see it. Don't worry about just do it like that, yeah. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll worry about this for that way first. Which I probably should, and then I can worry about getting rid of the white gaps. Obviously that's a little screw, but I can also, when I frame this, I'll just take a scissors and cut right before the line. That'll get rid of this crap right here. So it looks more perfect. Because this is nice. I want to try to get a frame for it. I like this picture. I wouldn't mind framing this like a trophy. Nice little trophy of what I colored in. It just looks normal. It just has a nice look to it. That's gonna look good once it's complete. Just need some water. I'll get this wet off my hands. Yeah. Water bottle made my hand a little wet. Definitely don't need that. I don't want this to get screwed up. This is coming out so good. So pretty looking. Nice and colorful. Twitter, but also to change it. Because I'm watching, because I have YouTube on. Because I'm watching a show on YouTube. While I do this. Surprisingly, YouTube still works on the Xbox 360, which I'm surprised. Because my grandparents' house, I have my Xbox One at my grandparents' house. But at my place, yeah, I got my Xbox 360 here. Like I said, I got my grandparents' house to help my grandparents out. Stuff like that, you know. I help them out every single day. Especially my grandfather, because my grandmother doesn't really, unfortunately, my grandmother doesn't help my grandfather out, which, you know, causes sometimes arguments between them, and stuff like that, but that's why I tell him, I was like, that's why I just say, alright, just calm down. I said, I won't help, just don't argue. You know, it's like, it's not worth it, just come on, you know. Stuff like that, because they argue. They sometimes argue a lot, which, you know, this could be hard. And you know, it reminds me of my parents, because when my mother was married to my stepfather, they'd argue a lot. So arguing is kind of a trigger for me, where I don't like to hear arguing. It's just like, all right, let's just calm down. You know, this is really worth it. You know, it's usually the one that's like, all right, let's just settle down. Okay. Anyway though, yeah. So, and no need to worry, people. I'll be doing a live stream too, you know. Yeah, I'll be doing a live stream too. Because imagine people are probably wondering, like, hey, you know, he said he was going to do a live stream. I'm like, yeah, I definitely am. Like I said, I just have to balance it between, well, that and work. But yeah, it's a weekend, so, you know, I'm going to try to do stuff too with live streams during the week too. I just upload so many shorts and constantly looking on CapCut for different shorts as I want to, like I said. Oh, that looks, holy crap, that looks good. Holy shit. Sorry, I can't help it. I love the way that looks. Oh, man, that looks great. Okay, there's a little bit of trees in the background, so yeah, you kind of have to do a different color. Yeah, that way it looks somewhat accurate. Yeah. That way those trees are shaded black a little bit, but I can give them a small bit of color to give tiny little details. Tiny little bit of detail. Let's go in this case, color detail. Oh, that looks great. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, I just get a notification on my phone. Yeah, 'cause I'm on Threads now. I have to add it to my thing on my phone's clipboard. No description. But yeah, I started doing Threads. I just got some likes. I gotta do that too. Yeah, that's the people notify me on Threads. I'll worry about that afterwards. I'm not worried about that right now. What I'm worried about right now is getting this video done for you guys. That way you have some nice relaxing ASMR. Where's it? I have a crayon. Yeah, you gotta change that color coding. think it's Tampa Bay, Florida. I think it's around there. I can't remember. I think. Oh, I can't remember. It's somewhere in Florida. I don't know. I'm not good at knowing a lot of towns and areas in Florida. But yeah. So, in case you're wondering what this is, that's just a tan line from my rings that I usually wear. So, yeah. In case you're wondering, I have this weird looking tan line, pale skin on the rest. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, there you go. I don't know, like I said, just trying to screw this video go over because I want the video to be over an hour. Okay, just gotta scroll and see what I can do for next. I'd like to do Luna, but I think I got all the Luna pictures covered, which sucks because Luna's my favorite. Now for these characters, I'll have to look up my other phone because I don't remember every single exact color. I want to get accurate. It's a mix of Hazbin Hotel and Elder Boss. And the Hazbin Hotel versions, it's basically like pilot episode Hazbin Hotel. Because this comic book actually came out, was 2022 to 23. That's before it was on Amazon Prime. So, it has early sketches, versions of the characters. Even Alpha Boss has got early sketches of Luna and other characters. Just gotta find the right page. Okay, so to this early sketch of Luna from the early Alpha Boss episode. Actually, no, this was the pilot. So, yeah, this will be the graphic words ahead. So when I described the scene, basically this is the scene where Luna eats Moxie's lunch. From there. So basically the scene goes as follows. Basically Luna goes on, but I can't remember exact words, but Luna said basically she was going on about the hangover she had, and which Moxie says Melly said something about it's been so long since I watched the pilot, but she mentioned about being a hangover and at work, and to which Moxie said, isn't my lunch? And basically Luna gets angry like she does here and says, yeah, that's what, yeah. She says, isn't that my lunch? And he says, I can't take this assault right now. I need to blow off some fucking steam. And it goes, and then kicks the one demon across the sky. Yeah. So so it's an early sketch of that scene. Probably before they kind of sound. I'm like, oh. She just went there. She was like, or something like that. When I see it, some sort of noise. Someone catches my eye. Natural eye, just a natural reaction. Luna's eyes are easier. I'm trying to remember what part of Luna's eyes I read. I think I might have it on here. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so this would stay, but this would be red. Which would make sense, being that she's a hellhound, or like a dog demon, or a wolf, maybe a wolf. I don't know. Since Luna's a hellhound, I don't know if that's considered a dog demon or a wolf demon or a canine. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm a Christian, so I have no freaking clue. I never studied demonology, sort of, subjects. So I have no idea. No clue. Yeah, so color ends that way. Cause I don't want to do it. Problem is, I don't want to do it white because it'll be like, it'll look so like, like it just will look. It'll be devoid of color. So I want to try to add at least a little bit. And being that it's not her final design, it's just a sketch. I want to make it gray just to kind of give her some color. That way at least there's some color. And it's not all just, So her tail, I'll leave that way. But I'll do this gray, yeah. That way at least there's some colorization. However you want to, I think that's the right word. I think, either way. Ears, I'll probably make it cartoony. I'll probably just make them pink. Like I said, it'll add more color. It won't be lacking color. After this, I got one more coloring page to do, which of course is My Little Pony. What was it? I want to make the ears pink, like the inside. Kind of give it like a cartoony look. Well, that and plus it'll make it colorful. So basically a hot pink. Plus it kind of looks like one of those plushy toys. That's that. So pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, last one, and this will definitely push it over an hour. I can find it quickly do it this way. Pause the video. Let's see if I can find the right character. Maybe. We'll do Rainbow Dash. Since she's the tomboy of the show. Where's my phone? Oh, where's that plushie I had? Oh, there you go. I forgot I had a plushie. I have a plushie of Rainbow Dash. I could just use that as a reference for color. Okay, so her fur is a very bright yellow. Actually, I think that might be the actual color. Let's see. Yeah, that probably could work. Obviously, that's the wind. So that's gonna stay blank because there's no color to wind, and stuff like that. So I'll just keep that white, just to keep it basic, and simple. But yeah, this is My Little Pony. Friendship is magic, or MLP FIM for short. And but yeah, I wanted this too. I like the tomboy girl kind of. That's what I liked. That's what I always liked about. That's what I always liked about. About Rainbow Dash. She's a tomboy kind of girl. And plus, because I always liked. I always liked a girl who was a tomboy. Just some. I always found attractive. Just I don't know. Just always found something interesting about it. I guess the uniqueness of it. That they're not afraid to that because a tomboy type of girl. They're not a girl who's not afraid to kind of like like they're not afraid to not act traditionally like a girl when it comes to like dress and stuff like that. Now, again, in my past, I have dated girls who are both, just regular, traditional, feminine. Because my first ex she was very, very traditional, like very traditional, feminine, like she would, and stuff like that. So basically, because I got at the time I had allowance, but yeah, basically I would work hard for my allowance. I would do more chores for my parents to make money. My allowance, and she said I would pay the bills and stuff like that, and usually if we were relaxing at the house, this is Max. In the house, she would straight up, she would basically cook and stuff like that. I mean, I told her. Now, of course, for me being independent, I kind of told her I was like, babe, you don't have to do that. Though I could do that. But she always insisted. She was very conservative and traditional, so she would do it. So I was like, if you really want to, but I said, I mean, yeah, I don't mind it, but but I said I'm kind of independent, so for me it feels kind of weird, unusual. I'm used to doing that myself. Now my mother did do it, because my mother, in some, be too much of the same color. In some ways, traditional, but not fully. Kind of like a mix, because my mom's a tomboy too. Stuff like that. Like when my mother, she'll wear like sometimes she'll dress feminine dresses, but other times she'll dress in like flannels, jeans and flannels. Like I have that like 90s Roseanne kind of style from the show Roseanne. Like she'll have that old 90s style look. My mother kind of goes back and forth like that. But yeah, kind of give like an idea to help paint a picture, though. Yeah. Which is actually funny. That's where I got the idea from, dressing in flannel shirts, and then a shirt under it, like a band shirt, usually a band, some sort of rock band or heavy metal shirt, and then with the red and black flannel. God, my GTA 5 character. And where's such workout for my mother? Because in the 90s, she was actually when wearing a t-shirt with a flannel and jeans was big. Yeah, that was definitely my mother. Because back then people would make fun of her saying, "Oh, you dress too much like a guy, and it's weird, and you don't dress feminine enough." So what she said, it's like, well, so I'm a girl who wants to wear flower shirts like a guy, so what? What does that I mean, Twitch my thing is like, oh, I mean, that's how you like to dress. What's wrong with that? Like, but again, too, this was the '90s too, so much different time than it is nowadays. But still, I just I don't understood that. Maybe somebody wants to dress that way. It's like, so what? You know, if they want to dress that way, what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's not hurting anybody. If it's not hurting anybody, and it's just, you know, like I said, it's just something that they want to do, I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? Like, that's what you want to do, you know? And it's not bothering anybody, you know? Like, in the sense of it's not ruining someone's life, that kind of like bothering. Then I'm like, what's wrong with it? You know? You do you. Okay, now, Natasha's hair is, her main hair is basically like a rainbow, so that'll have to be just like her name that I colored. Yeah, it's color her hair, rainbow type of look. So that way it's accurate to her character, but also to the show. So it's not going to be 100% accurate to the show, but close enough to it. So I'm going to try and make it unique. And add different colors. Plus that way I'm not just copying, like I have like a little bit of artistic vision and style to it. And plus too, I like to do this, but I want to do this too, My Little Pony especially, for my girl viewers. Because I know I gotta see some, most of the viewers according to analytics are male, but female viewers have been increasing, too, so especially more, I want to try to do that so I can have videos that represent the women viewers and girl viewers, so that way there's something geared towards them. I want there to be something, a little something for everybody. So do stuff for the guy viewers, the girl viewers, and not a lot, but a very small minority is, like children that watch my videos too. So for the kids, like I said, I do like this, like My Little Pony, or I'll do like learning videos of how to count, different stuff like that, so that they have videos that are geared towards them. Because I want to make sure that there's a certain video for everybody. So everybody's like, oh, well, I don't like. I said, well, that's cool. He's doing a video that's specific to my age group or my gender, or my community. That's great. Which I want to do too, because like I said, I want, I make my channel as like, no really get into politics or anything like that, or stuff like that. I just keep it just neutral, so that it's, because I see what politics does too, like it divides people. People are arguing, or I like to create a safe space for people where everything we worry about really, what we generally just worry about is just, having fun, listening to nice ASMR videos, getting some motivational videos for love and support you need. And stuff like that. Just trying to make sure I don't, put the same color. Like I made sure each part has a different color. That way it doesn't look stupid. But that way it won't look stupid. And it'll look, accurate. Somewhat accurate. And obviously the cover's not exactly the same, but close enough. I guess that's the closest to red I'll have. I have to do it a little dark, because it's not exactly obviously, as I said, since the cloud is white and this is supposed to be wind, so, being that it's wind, it just makes sense to keep it clear because, wind doesn't exactly have a color per se since it's clear. And clear white is the closest thing to clear, so, or in this case, just the page color. But anyway, if I ramble on too much, yeah. So that's stuff again. And just screw around a little longer. But definitely I would say my favorite one is this one though. That came out so pretty. I should have done that first really, but I didn't think of it. I didn't think I was going to do that good. So, but yeah. So I'm definitely going to be putting that on social media, so be sure to look out. I'll be posting this. Alright, but yeah, so that's about it for this video. Probably screwed around as long as I could. So I hope you, and for you, Ellen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to do something insanely long. As I collect more coloring books, I'll probably do another one like this. Maybe we can shoot for 2 hours or 3. I have to see because my phone can only store so much, length. I might have to find another way to edit the video. But eventually I wouldn't mind having a 3-hour coloring video. Even if I had to do it in parts. Because right now, like my pelvis is hurting from sitting on this chair. Like I'm in pain a bit. I'm sitting in this sitting position, so I probably have to do it in parts so I can walk around a little bit, give my body, get the aches and pains in my body, and then, do it again. But I'm thinking about it. But what do you guys think? Should I do a 2 to 3 hour coloring video? Let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of curious to see I'm kind of curious and interested to see what you guys think. Like very interested. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, oh shit, it's even longer than I thought. Alright, that's good. Hour and 8 minutes. Alright, so that's just about it for this ASMR video. And I gotta make some shorts and other things too. Like I did the Health Boss edit as a kind of just like a nice little appetizer.